Okay, part two here, gang. This is Red again with Red Dragon Leo. It is January the 2nd, 2012, and this is part two on the beginning of the end for the Illuminati gangster, thug, murder, and rapist Satanist known as you know, the usual: Bush, Clinton, Rockefeller, Soros, Buffett, Kissinger. Oh, and Bernanke stooge. He's such an idiot, isn't he? When you just like to just cut his head off and stick it on a stake out in your front yard and celebrate it, that's your American flag. You know, that's what I like to do there to get back to America. Anyway, he's just a puppet, though. Okay, I've went over most of the stuff here on what was going on there with Ben Fulford. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch the first video. Can't think of anything else that I was going to cover on that, other than we had last year some talk of what they call China's October surprise. I believe it was Lindsey that was speaking of that. We thought maybe something was going to happen last October in 2011. It didn't, but it sure looks to me like it's going to happen this October, because Lindsey, his source, told him that September-October time frame was the time frame for the dollar, or not the dollar, but World War III to start with Iran. So it's a possibility that that would line up with a huge crash in the market as well. I can't see it going up, and how much I rationalize this in my head, I can't see it going up when the dollar is devalued 40%. But I'm trying to figure this out, how they're going to work that. But obviously gold would go up, the cost of oil would go up because they take more dollar bills to buy oil. But anyway, I'm sure you guys will post some comments on that, on what your thoughts on how that will actually play out with each individual stock and stuff. I would think with the panic it would drop 40%, just like with everything else. But so I'm still inclined to believe that the market will crash when the dollar crashes, even though they have been going opposite of each other. That will no longer happen. That, you know, that they will be in sync. The dollar will crash and the market will crash at the same time. Some of the other things here I did want to go over here before we get to the charts. Over Christmas Day, the Gangsters went and gave $600 billion to support the euro on Christmas Day. They did that while we were sleeping, of course, or not sleeping, but enjoying our Christmas holiday, because they didn't want anybody to know, didn't want the media to notice it. They did the same thing back in 2001, before 9/11. One day before 9/11, they come on TV, or go to Congress, I believe, and maybe it was on TV too, I guess. Well, it would have been on TV, but it was in a meeting, obviously a congressional meeting or whatever. Said we don't know where we've misplaced $2 trillion, and they said this on September the 10th, because they knew that the next day 9/11 would happen, and that this would get lost in the media and nobody would even talk about it. There was also some other news that China and Japan have signed the largest trade agreement ever, and that they are agreeing to trade with each other in their own currency and no longer use the dollar. So again, this goes to show you that these gangsters, these cabal members inside the Illuminati that are the most evil, the ones that are reptilian shapeshifters, and their minions, which would be just the reptilian, or just the Illuminati ones that are brainwashed and just stupid and evil, are losing control of this planet. There's no question about it. They're losing control, and it is coming to the end, in my opinion. And I hope that it frees out, that these people do get arrested, and that they get tried for their crimes, and that the other Illuminati members that are forced into the gang can come out and ask for forgiveness, and will rat out their friends. You got to understand, a lot of these Illuminati members are being forced into the group under threat of death. You either join us or you end up dead, and so a lot of them do not want that. You become a billionaire overnight, and you got power, you're going to get a call by the Illuminati. They're going to be knocking on your door, forcing you to join or else. So keep that in mind, that not all Illuminati members are bad. Many of them have been forced into the organization, and others have been actually brainwashed, and don't even know. They're just being brainwashed from a child because they grew up in an Illuminati family. Let's look at you know, the Kennedys, for example, say Joe Kennedy was part of the Illuminati, but obviously John Kennedy, his son, and Robert Kennedy, you know, were not. They chose to do the right thing, and that's why they were assassinated for it. So anyway, here we're going to get onto the charts. I did say I was going to do that, so let's get onto the charts here. On the 60-minute chart here, we can see, let's see, you can clearly see this nice little triangle here that Ron has drawn, that that obviously we have banged up against it. One, you know, here we banged up against it, missed it there, banged up against it there, 3 times here, 1, 2, 3 times here, not quite 3 times, but pretty daggone close. I think it's almost touching. I think it is. But so, you know, these things tend to come to a point where they hit these. They can break out either way. They can break out to the downside. They can break out to the upside. And it's really hard to say right now because of the light volume going into this coming week that they're going to manipulate this, and we are not likely to know for sure that we should start down in some wave 3 and bust through this and keep on going down until we find support maybe here or something for the first move down or something in that area. So yeah, the charts look bearish. They do not look like they're ready to go up. You can clearly see everything's pointing down here. This is a 60-minute chart, of course, and this technically is a bear flag, but again, we're going into light volume and these gangsters are going to go out with a bang. So let's not just automatically assume that we're going to tank come the first week, okay, because I don't know for sure. Okay, here on the daily chart, if we look at the daily chart, let's see here, looking at the daily chart here, I'm going to scroll it on down here so you can clearly see about where we're at right here. Looking down here at the bottom right here, you can clearly see it's the rate of change is certainly bearish. It is certainly ready to roll over and continue below 0. That is obviously very bearish on the daily chart, and you can see that we have peaked out right here and we are ready to go down. But again, I want you to understand that they are going to manipulate this thing, and you know, they very well could go down a little bit early this week and turn it right back up and just kind of chop it around here, because again, it is light volume and it might do something like that before the week is out. So you might end up kind of going down and right back up. I'm just not sure what they're going to do, so I really don't want to make a call on the market right now. You know, we got these tops right here that are connecting, and they actually go to, if I drew that line right, I didn't really draw that line right, so let me try to hit the undo button on that. The line actually runs like that and runs out here to somewhere in this 1320 area if they decide to somehow try to keep it going on up like this. There's a line here, obviously. And then there's a line here, obviously. This is a triangle, a big, larger triangle, folks. You can clearly see it. They could just chop it on down to here and bounce it again and come back up. I mean, we just, you know, it's hard to say right now. Yes, it's very bearish, and yes, we should roll over, but again, it's light volume. So just don't be surprised if it's some choppy trading the first few weeks of January. So traders get their foot until they get their feeling in which way it's going to go. So we could go down and back up and then finally break down. And my thoughts are that something similar to that is going to happen. When we look at it here on the other chart here of the, let's see here, on the weekly chart, you can kind of see similar patterns here. Wait a minute, let me pull this down. Well, obviously you can see up here we're approaching 0 and the rate of change, it is losing steam, and we are at 50 here, ready to roll down and go below 50, which is in bear territory. But again, we're at this critical stage right here, and the market just doesn't really know where it wants to go. You can see down here at the bottom that we are also ready to roll over here. but it's no guarantee for sure that's going to roll over. It's tried before. It could continue on up here a little bit before it finally rolls over. It could do one of these numbers. Here, we could start to see it slowly lose steam, and while this moves up and gets ready to roll over. So you could see some just strange moves in here until this thing is ready to go. It could literally trade right in this range with these moving averages right here on this before it finally rolls over. Clearly this is a larger wave 1 down, and we're working out a wave 2, and we are waiting on the weekly chart to hit this wave 3, and I don't know when it's going to start. So it's hard to say right off the bat the first week. So I'm not really going to make any calls during this first week because I just don't know. Again, it's light volume, and light volume tends to roll is in favor of the bulls, the lazy bulls. So you can see here on the week or the monthly chart, you can see we just don't know what's going on here. I do not think it's going to go up here and put in some big tower like that. No, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think it's just going to chop around down here at the bottom until it finally just works its way down lower. And it's going to work its way down lower like this. Like this section right here is what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then just fall off a cliff. But very similar to this 2008 move, where you've seen the move, they go down and then back up. We have done this. We've went down and we went back up. We are now ready to have a month like this. And when that's very well that could be what happens in January and into February, and then March you recover a little bit, and maybe you chop it on out many months until you actually get out to October. So then you get out to October, and by the time that happens, September, October, that's when you have the move that just blows you away, and it looks like this, all in one big candle. Understand this whole move down was a wave 1, and this here's a wave 2, and we're getting ready to have a wave 3 this year, folks. This year. So I just don't see the Gangsters being able to stop it this year. They have tried, and they've held it up. It should have crashed here. It did not. Should have really continued down here, but that's when they started this QE2. This is when Bernanke started with the first of his 5 different things that he was going to do. This was the first one, and then it should have tanked here, and he implemented probably a second one and third one and fourth one, and now his 5th one will be to cut the dollar down 40%. So how would that affect the market? I can't see it being bullish. I know that the dollar and the market trades inverse of each other, but that's got to scare the hell out of everybody. 40% cut in the buying power. The Wall Street people have got to say, hey, this is going to cause massive inflation. People will not be able to buy goods and services. So I don't care if it is normally supposed to be bullish for stocks or not. It won't be, because their earnings will go to crap. They predict stocks based upon future earnings. How can future earnings be any good if people can't afford to even eat or pay their bills? So I cannot see any reason for that to be bullish at all. There's nothing to me that tells me it's going to be bullish. So anyway, I just don't know what to say. For Monday or Tuesday, light volume says that they could chop it around, but the charts say we should go down and probably bounce off this line again. Draw a line from there to there, and like I said about that 1220, 1230 area should be a good place for it to stop. After that, I don't know what their plans are. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I wouldn't be trading on the first few days. I'd wait till see where the market wants to go, and we'll take it day by day from then. We'll get a better feel after the traders come back. But anyway, gang, I'm running out of time here again on this charts. I want to wish everyone Happy New Year, and let's keep our eyes on the dollar, folks. Let's look out. Let's watch the volume every day. Look for large short positions. Then we'll know when the crash is coming. See you, everyone.